but you know, they've got the cricket ground there too, which sort of impacts who can go out there and who don't, because the cricket mob get a little bit hesitant when you're out there.
They don't like it.
No,
they don't like it.
Tearing up the. So we had to do pre-season on the other oval because their season hadn't finished yet. So they wanted us. They didn't want the ground torn up, which is totally understandable. But in saying, a lot of teams, of course, by the sounds of it, this round are missing players, of course, given the opportunity to play down south, which is good to see as well. But because it doesn't tie in with the season that we play, Charlie, it means that you miss them after Christmas. That's when they go down to have a crack at the Samford or the VFLW or the Queensland League. So it's a critical time for the teams up here that they lose their most powerful players, and you know, we miss out on seeing the experience and the guns learn their work. But in saying that, that's their only pathway now that they have to try and achieve their dreams of AFLW. So you know, the clubs fully support the girls that have to leave, and you know, they feel bad having to leave their teammates to, you know, thrash it out up here. But you know, we've got Grace Malville, that is a Southern Districts champion. Of course, she won the best on ground in the grand final when they won that grand final from Charlie. She's down playing in the South Australian league, the footy league down there, and they actually start this weekend as their first round. So it really does impact all the teams going, especially the women's teams around this time of year.
So that siren's going to end this match. The final score, Tash.
Yep, it's
a close game in the end.
St Mary's 6-4-40. Southern Districts were 5-7-37. So 3 points. 3 points in that game.
So Mary stopped in the last quarter. They'd kicked 6 goals up to three-quarter time, only added two points. But maybe the conditions down there are much, much worse than what we think. Though you've played in recent times. What's that ground like out there when they get plenty of water on it?
It's not too bad. This ground seems to drain pretty well. You can see the umpire running out there to the middle, and there's no water trudging as he runs out there, so it drains really well. Whereas if you go to another oval, Tracy Village, for example, that we played 2 weeks ago in conditions like this, and it was drizzling the whole time, when you ran, there was water. You know, it was just sludging it through, and if the ball landed somewhere, it just stayed there. You went to get a footy, and you ended up looking like you'd done mud wrestling, for the day. But here you can see where the ground's really cut up at the 50s. I think they've done a really good job with the centre. Obviously, hasn't been too much work in the centre because the centre's looking pretty good when usually that gets ripped up first. But yeah, it's good to see that the centre, and it's not too bad here. The ball's still bouncing, but you definitely wouldn't have a bounce today. You'd touch the ground or kick it long.
Yeah. I was watching one of those matches from the past. I think it was the 1978 grand final or something. Collingwood were playing Carlton in it, and the ground was just a shocker. It was an absolute shocker. People were covered in mud, and oh my gosh.
The good old days, Charlie. The good old days, and they went in that hard as well that, you know, there was no protection of the body or the head or anything like that in those days, or in danger kicking, diving at the feet. It didn't matter back then.
Well, St Mary's are out there. They got out there first. They got a guard of honour from the Div 1 side for the Southern Districts team. They're in the change room. Coach is probably talking to them. Now, we're going to do something a bit special today, Tash. We're going to be able to cross down to the ground and talk to both of those coaches at some point during the game. We've also set up a little bit of a chat with the woman who won the Spirit medal last in the rep game.
Yeah, Jess Brocker, who I spoke about, who's in the ruck and absolutely killing it in this season, which is really good to see. She's also related to Peter Brock. Her mum, Leonie Richards, is a gun soccer player and been one of the boundary umpires for I don't know how long, forever, since I can remember. She's had a run in footy as well, but her and her mum play for the Litchfield soccer team as well, along with Bella Clark and her sister. So yeah, they've got a few connections out there as we see Southern Districts run out now, and that white on their jumper will not be white at the end of the game. I can guarantee that. Right,
is this a ferocious St Mary's tackling side, is it? Put them in the mud.
It's just slippery conditions, and with women's footy, you know, the ball pickup isn't as clean as what you see on AFLW, which I must say today the Adelaide Crows got over the top of Melbourne, as we heard Rick say, but absolutely masterclass from Erin Phillips today. She's 36, turns 37 next year, and she put on a masterclass and kicked 3 of the Adelaide Crows 4 goals.
Now, I was just wondering where Jessie Brock was. I didn't see her, then all of a sudden she's appeared, so she came out.
Yeah, number 11 there.
Yeah, behind the rest.
The tall one out there. It'd be interesting to see who's actually the captain out there today, actually. And we've got young Grace Whitaker as well, of course, that's hit the scene very hard from the under-18s. And in her first or second game, I think she kicked six goals, and she was elevated to the actual NT rep team. They had a few of the young girls training with the squad just to get the experience, but she turned 16 just before Christmas, which then made her eligible to play. So Jared Eilert chucked her in there, and yeah, she didn't do too bad.
Special interview coming up with Jared Eilert during halftime, talking about women's footy, where he sees it at the moment, and he talks a little bit about the height difference when we compare, a territory side to a visiting side. They always have like taller players, which is the same in the men's competition. It's a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And just watching the two, so we've got Keely Waterbury that's gone out there, Waterbury for the Crocs, and I think Shakara Coops that are doing the toss, and we've got young Janome Anderson, and I think that's Shakira Stevens that have done the toss, and it looks like Saints have won it, and they're kicking to the Michael Long centre end.
Just a funny sort of day, heavy clouds above us.
We can't even tell which way the wind's going because they've taken the flags away, Charlie.
Yeah.
They must have been ripped down in the wind.
They could have been.
The wind last night, because
the strong breezes, haven't there?
Yeah, there has been. I went out the back and there was a few pots laying down, smashed the ceramic one. So yeah, it was a bit windy last night.
So this team gets together and with their arms around each other, the Southern Districts team, and same with the St Mary's side. They're having. What do they say in those huddles, Tash?
Oh, you just want to go out there, make sure that you do the 1%ers, make sure you talk first at the ball, keep to your structures. So you just hope that your captain and your leadership's really just give you the last few pointers before you go to your position. And you always say you want to start the game, on the front foot. You never want to play catch-up footy, which is, we've seen this season and probably towards the end of last season, Charlie, especially in the men's, that we say it seems to be that the team that comes out on the front foot that gets those couple of goals in front usually end up winning the game, because then they just protect that first quarter lead.
Yep.
Whereas we used to say the premiership quarter was the third quarter. I feel that it's whoever really gets out and gets that first quarter started.
Yep.
And gets the goals on the board.
Well, there's an extension of that in the men's competition. We've seen quite a few games this year where teams have kicked 6 or 7 goals in one quarter.
Yep.
And then shut it down.
Just shut that. They just play defensively then. But in saying that, if you don't get those 3, in women's football it's probably 3 or 4 goals, men's 4 or 5. If you don't get that, then you haven't used your opportunities well in the first quarter.
And Tiwi footy, we're missing them. It's causing all sorts of problems over on the islands. We'll hear from Lee at Lee Elder at halftime.
That'll be a really good interview, Charlie, because we have missed that.
They should put the lights on, Tash.
Yeah, I know it is a bit dark. I'm surprised they're not on, Charlie, to be completely honest, and I'm surprised that they're playing with the red ball still. So they've haven't got the jump on that. So Jess Brock's in the middle. She wins that tap down easily for Southern District, smashes it forward about 10 metres now. St Mary's, through a chain of hand passes, come out through Marsland. She kicks it out to centre wing, grandstand side. Bit of a hustle for the footy. Kicked off the ground there by the Crocs player to herself. Just keeps it inside the boundary. Hand passes back to a teammate. That was Walsh. Puts her teammate under pressure, but she gets the handball away. And a good tackle as a second effort. She hand passed to a St Mary's player, Charlie, and then she went and lunged at the tackle and got her holding the ball.
Did very well. Good kick.
So centre wing looks for Brock, but it was chopped off.
Second in line, Brock then.
Good chop off there by the St Mary's player. She uses that standing on the mark very well. Takes it to her advantage. That's Marsland again for St Mary's. It's to the top of the 50. Coming through is Nan Curvis. She's an absolute star for Southern Districts, number 6 down there, Charlie.
Good footy name, isn't it?
Yeah, Nan Curvis, love it. Here's St Mary's go in through Krieger, gives it back. Now they kick it to the top of the 50. They got a player all by herself. She takes a mark in these conditions. Harris plays on from 40, kicks it over the top, looking in the square. No one's there. Southern District should get there first, but running after it is Nikita Long, and it trickles over the boundary line. That's a win for St Mary's there, Charlie, because otherwise Southern Districts probably would have run away with it. Yeah,
Southern Districts were caught out of position. No one down there, though, for St Mary's to kick it to, and she kicked to the spaces and it just rolled across the face of goals and out of play.
So boundary throw in the left forward pocket. Well worked there by Nan Curvis. Picked up by St. Mary. She's tackled. That's holding the footy. They're red hot on that this season, especially after Christmas, Charlie, and we've seen it on AFLW as well. You do not get rid of the ball. They're pinning you every day of the week now. So a good mark taken out wide by Southern Districts. Still at half back. Just toys with the boundary line there, and that should be the last touch rule. So the lasso rule here in women's footy.
Just mention the umpires here, Samson Bayment and Kimball Perring.
Kimball Perring.
That's an interesting name, isn't it? Sounds like a detective from some strange movie.
Investigation show. So St. Mary's, just with all the position, just chips it over to Marsland. She started the game really well, and it's 50.
Well
so
done,
not
Marsland.
standing still on that mark. The girls are still a little bit unsure of that. You have to wait for the umpire to say play on, even if the person with the ball looks to sort of go off their line. You have to wait for the umpire, and she's going to play on quickly here. I'd probably take my time a little bit, but she plays on quickly, and then it comes off the side of the boot, and a good mark taken back there by Hanson for Southern District. She just rushed that a little bit too much, Charlie.
Yeah, good in defence here, Southern Districts, though. Greg off phone talked to me about how strong their defence was.
She took on her opponent, says St. Mary's. The umpire got the whistle to the mouth, but let it go. Jess Brock pushes her opponent out the way. Good pick-up in these conditions by the Southern Districts player there in Toy. Toy gets it out wide, just runs around it there. That's Coops. She ducks one and didn't get rid of it legally, so she's caught holding the footy, and the free kick is going the way of Shakira Stevens here for St. Mary's.
So is Kayana Toy any relation to Brenton Toy? Can't be too many Toys in town.
I think she is. I think she's not. I don't think it's his sister, but is definitely a relation. This is the first time Southern Districts have had space and time. Picked up by the Southern Districts player, kicks it forward, just pushed off the footy was St. Mary's. It's at the top of the 50 here for Southern Districts, just thrown out the umpire, let that go. I thought she just threw that. Picked by Powell up to the forward line, pushed out of the way. The umpire let that go as well. That was a big push by Bonson. It's at the top of the goal square here, and the umpires finally picked up a free kick, and it is going to Coops. So good work to Coops to work her way down there. Jara Coops. She's directly in front of goal. It's a swirling breeze. You can see the trees, Charlie. The signs are all going on the fence. This is actually going to be a hard one. She's going to kick it from about 30, 25. She goes in now. She stabs at it, and you could just see it swirled in that breeze. It just held it up. Still in the forward pocket here for Southern Districts, but St. Mary's have the numbers. Errant kick trying to get it out of the defensive 50 here, St. Mary's. Pack of players around. It's 45 metres out, close to the boundary line. They'll be happy to take this over, St. Mary's, and they do. They disguised it very well in the end, and there's going to be a boundary throw in at the top of the 50, grandstand side here at Marara.
Forsyth's a bit unlucky not to get a free kick in all of that.
So the rucks will set. Now they need to just watch this ball because of the swirling wind. The boundary throw-in's probably not going to go too far, and they read that very well there. Brock over the top. Still at the top of the 50. There's a pack of players around this footy. It's going to be hard to clear, but once it does, it's going to come out. And here's Davidson. Gets a kick forward. Chain of hand passes. St. Mary's have all pushed back here into the hole, and Brock takes a mark. Well done. Just inside the 50. She needs to get rid of it. She's got a player all by herself. And a good mark taken there by Southern Districts.
Good mark, Brock. That was a good, strong mark.
That was Abby Hewitt. So this is who Westy spoke about that's come up from the Gold Coast. Abby Hewitt. Oh, it's going to take a ripper of a kick to kick it from 40. She's confident.
Just dark out there, Tash. They're like ghosts.
They've got to turn the lights on, Charlie. I'm even struggling to see, and I still can't believe it's a red ball. But so Hewitt called to play on now. She uses the advantage of the person standing on the mark, pops it into the goal square. Nearly a mark by St. Mary's. Needs to get rid of it. Number of districts here. They've got time and space if they can communicate. Chain of hand passes. She sold her teammate under pressure there. Should have had a kick herself. They're still trying to get it out of defence here at St. Mary's, and a good tackle applied. She made sure she didn't get in her back, and as I say that, the umpire has pinned her for it. So Hewitt
pushing the back. I'm with the umpire.
Oh, in these conditions, it's a little bit harsh, but they're going to play it every day of the week, especially. So Hewitt again is going to go back and have a shot on goal. This time she's going to kick it from about 25, I reckon. So again, the rain's tumbling down again here at Marara. She stabs at it, and it's straight, and it's through. The first goal on the board is to Southern Districts through Abby Hewitt, who's come up from the Gold Coast and played for them the last time against St Mary's, and a good goal in the, nearly 7-minute mark of the first quarter.
Yeah, good goal, and the push in the back was definitely there, and Jessie Brock was involved in that with that mark and that little kick across to Hewitt, and Hewitt was able to go back from directly out in front and kick the goal just as the rain starts to pour in and heavy dark clouds rolling in from the southeast. So expect more rain.
They've listened to us, Charlie. On come the flick of the lights. The lights they're coming, and look, it just makes it so much different.
Oh, that's so much better.
I can see. So back in the middle, umpire throws it up. You can hear the rain tumbling down now. Districts come away, moving forward through that play in Forsyth. Kicks it into the 50. Bonson gets back there first for St Mary's, picks it up, tries to kick it, but it was smothered. Pack of players form here. It's 45 metres out, close to the boundary line. Janome Anderson with her real touch of the game. A good tackle. She finally gets rid of the footy, trying to move it forward. They're absolutely under the pump here, St Mary's, and Southern District's players taken without the footy by Anderson.
That's Whittaker. Is that Whittaker?
That's Grace Whittaker, yep.
She's a tough player. That was a big tackle she laid on.
So Grace Whittaker drives it, and you can just see the heavy footy. The ball's not travelling too far compared to what it usually does, but still in the forward 50. Defensive free kick here to St Mary's. They just need to slow things down and hit a target. Very hard conditions out there. She was looking for Marsland, but it come off the side of her boot. Just outside the defensive 50 here now for St Mary's. It's going to come back in, but here it comes through Butt. That's Sarah Butt. Just gets it over the top. Kicked off the ground. It soccers through. It's a goal. Southern Districts have their second goal on the board. Just trying to pick up who that player was. Charlie, it's Keely Waterbury. So Keely Waterbury, the stand-in captain today, has kicked her first goal, and Southern Districts have 2 goals to nothing, and we've gone 9 minutes in the first quarter.
And they deserve those couple of goals too. They're playing good footy at the moment. Saints finding it really difficult to get a chain of things happening, Tash, aren't they? And it's all just one of acts, you know. So it's tough for them, but they're working together as a team a little better. The Tricolours. Yeah,
it's starting in the middle here, Charlie. This is what I said, that Jess Brock's absolutely on fire, and she's moving it forward out of the ruck here. So back in the middle, umpire throws it up. Brock again wins the tap, but well read by St Mary's. That time sharking it was Forshaw. Forshaw couldn't get a clean possession. Then it's smothered by Toy, tried to get a kick away. No, that was Sarah Butt, sorry. So a free kick going the way of Nan Curvis. No, he's going to bring it back. Wasn't Nan Curvis. It's the other Southern Districts player out there. Just forward of centre wing. Thumping kick in these conditions from the back. Southern Districts player just couldn't read that ball, but she was fourth in line. It's a pack of players at the top of the 50. Look at them all diving in, Charlie, and the umpire needs to be very careful, because anyone that falls on top of the ball and doesn't get it out, he'll pin Charlie, especially in these conditions.
Yeah, fair enough too.
Throws the ball up at the top of the 50. Brock again with the tap down. Well shark. They're trying to get it to Anderson. A good tackle applied. Umpire says play on. It's absolutely tough conditions out here today at Marara for both these teams. So Southern Districts are leading by 2 goals to zip. We've gone 10.5 minutes in this first quarter. Kicked out wide to space finally. All the players overrun it, Charlie. It's in that muddy patch at Marara here. It is hard to pick up. They're trying to get it out. Kicked off the ground there by Grace Whittaker. Finally picked up, and a good hit put on Grace Whittaker. Off the footy. She's taking a while to get up. Just watch her, Charlie. That was a big hip and shoulder. But I tell you what, it's helped St Mary's. But Nan Curvis cuts it off. She's a good intercept mark here, Nan Curvis. Maloney Nan Curvis on centre wing, kicks it. And a good mark taken by Coops. Coops has really started this game well, hasn't she?
Yeah, held front position, took a strong mark.
Looking for Brock. Cut off by Bonson. Good front and centre by St Mary's, and kicking to space. It's good to see in these conditions. Here's Janome Anderson. If she can pick it up, she can run. Just has 3 fumbles. Now she has to get rid of it, and there's Nan Curvis again. So just in the right spot. She just reads it so well. Dangerous kick, but it's 2-on-1. Well done to the only St. Mary's player in Bryant. Kicks it to space. She's going to get there first. Probably should have kicked it off the ground again. She had support coming. Southern Districts worked this well. Good tackle applied. It's in the centre square. St. Mary's now pick it up, an inside-outside kick there by Bryant, I think that was.
And who's there again?
And there's Nan Curvis, and she drives it, goes straight through the hands of the St. Mary's player in Stevens. It's on centre wing. Hear the crowd calling out ball, but she didn't have the footy. Coops rips down her player. Stevens again tries to get the kick away. Brock finally moves it forward. Kiana Powell will pick it up. In these conditions, it was a one-grab pick-up, Charlie. She shovels it out to Brock. She went without it. Powell goes back in. They both go to the footy. Now she's got it. Hand passes back to Brock. Back to Brock again. Brock drops the footy, trying to pick it up. They're trying to get rid of this footy. It's been in the same spot for about 2 minutes. And now finally a settling mark by St. Mary's, taken by Jasmine Bonson.
Good mark, Bonson.
And her kick just nearly cut off there by the Crocs. They're going to kick it back in. Just a little kick, just missed the 3 players she was looking for. It bounced in between the 3 of them. Picked up again by Bonson. No, that's not Bonson. Kicks it forward. St. Mary's moving the ball forward. Then it's cut off by Sarah Butt. She kicks it over the top of a pack. Well picked up there by Forshaw. And a good mark taken by Nan Curvis. And I think she's got leather poisoning out there, Charlie. She hasn't dropped one yet in these conditions, which is absolutely amazing. It's still in the centre square, kicked off the ground by Grace Whitaker. And again, she can go again. Yep, she does. She's got time now. She just allowed that time for herself. She had more time and space. She kicks it, and it's going to trickle over the boundary line deep in the left forward pocket here. She did the 3 kicks off the ground, gave herself the space to pick it up, but then kicked it straight away. She had a bit of time to run into goal.
Very intelligent play from her, but the last bit, that execution right at the end, was costly. So she did keep it down in the forward line, though. It's close to quarter time. It's been a good quarter from Southern Districts, and gee, those defenders have been good. Nan Curvis and Butt, they're hard to get past for Southern Districts.
Yeah, and Bonson's done really well down the back line for St. Mary's. The umpire throws it in. It's in the forward pocket here for the Crocs. Dangerous position. Coming in was the player in fourths. Forsyth comes in. She's there again, trying to pick it up. Good body work by St. Mary's. Now they shovel it out. They don't have the numbers here. They need to get more numbers around the footy. There's lots of Southern Districts players at the top of the 50. They're hanging out for the quarter time siren to go, I think, St. Mary's. They've got a lot of players by themselves in the centre square. I think they need to get back behind the footy. It's at the top of the 50. Just handballs to herself, the St. Mary's player. Goes in again. All the numbers for Southern District. Forts gets it again, hand passes to a running teammate, running pass, and it's a big kick into the 50. Nearly a mark taken down there by Waterbury again, but picked up behind the ball was Grace Whitaker. She hand passes to space under enormous pressure here. St. Mary's Whitaker again. She shrugs the tackle, goes on goal, and she's kicked it. She's kicked the 3rd goal of the game. Grace Whitaker, well done. There was a number of efforts down there for Southern Districts, but in the end, young Grace Whitaker gets her 1st goal of the game, and the 3rd for Southern Districts. St. Mary's yet to score.
That was a very, very good goal for Grace Whitaker. Did all the hard work. 3 or 4 times she got to the ball, finally got it out wide, shrugged the tackle. She was tucked away in the right forward pocket, snapped at goal and kicked it. It's a good goal, so she joins Waterbury and Hewitt with the goals for Southern Districts. They're playing good footy at the moment, and Saints barely been inside their 50 in this 1st quarter.
Yeah, very inexperienced team here for St. Mary's, and just where that ball was, there was too many St. Mary's players in front of the ball rather than getting behind it and getting around that stoppage. So run one in the ruck again is Brock. It's kicked forward by Southern Districts, just trickles to the top of the 50. Good battle out there by those 2 players, and a good tackle laid by Janome Anderson. She wasn't rewarded. Southern Districts player dropped the footy. It's inside the 50 here now for Southern Districts as we just go on 16 minutes in this 1st quarter. She's not hitting it out. She's going to be pinned, and the umpire gave her the benefit of the doubt. Very lucky. No, he's pinned, he's pinned her. Yep, pinned Powell. So Janome Anderson. Oh, and that's a brilliant mark. Running back with the fly to the footy, St. Mary's, and then she just turns it over. So good intercept mark there by Wilson. So that player that was Marsland that took that terrific mark, she's played a good 1st quarter for St. Mary's, and St. Mary's chop it off just inside the centre square. Looking again for Marsland. Coming across was Toy, cuts that one off, pushing the back. The umpire let that go. Just need to get the numbers around the ball here, St Mary's. And there's been a free kick off the footy, and it's going the way of Southern Districts. I think that is Siddons there with the free kick. She drives it to the top of the 50. Whitaker misread it. Picked up at the back by Birdo. That's Kelsey Birdo. She drives it into the 50. Waterbury's there one-on-one. Coming back behind the ball with Stevens. She's knocked off the footy by Waterbury. Kicked off the ground by Brock. But well done by the St Mary's defender as the siren goes to save them from another goal, Charlie. So a good quarter to Southern Districts. 3 goals straight, 18. St Mary's yet to score, but what a ripper of a first quarter.
A fantastic quarter of footy. Really good play there by Southern Districts. They've had all of the play down at their end of the ground. As I said before, rarely inside 50 did it go for St Mary's, and that's because those great defenders were back there. Those two worked so well together, Nankervis and Butt, for Southern Districts made it almost impossible to get past them. They formed a wall, if you like. If 2 people can actually do that, that's what they were able to do. A very good goal. 3 goals, is it?
Yeah, 3 goals. I thought with the amount of possession, it never got into the forward 50 for St Mary's once, Charlie, but the amount of possessions that Southern Districts had.
You know what great mates Territorians can be. Always willing to lend a hand, or something else. So if they ever ask to borrow your car, as you know they will, you can say yes, knowing that your TIO comprehensive car insurance has them covered. Same as you. It's good to know. So get a quote today. TIO. We're for Territorians.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro, or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge, or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
You know Territorians are a hardy bunch. Hats off to you. Whether you're new or you've been here forever, we know what the weather can throw at us. That's why TIO Home Insurance covers your home for cyclone, storm surge and flood. It's good to know. And with the only contact centre, claims team and assessors based in the Territory, we're here when you need us most. TIO, we're for Territorians.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the
Yeah.
put you down in the forward
Yeah,
pocket.
yeah.
He says, well, that's my callie too. Like,
Oh, so he's all for that.
yeah, he said, I'll just go down there. He said, I'll kick goal. I'll take the mark. Just put it in the air.
I just think it puts pressure on the defenders when you've got
When
the
you
big
get a
ruckman
mismatch.
down there. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got a big ruckman down there, and I feel that, you know, it's not like he has to run. Put him at full forward. It's not like he's running around in the 50. It just gives a target.
Just,
and you just
even
crumb.
if he goes to the
Yeah,
pocket, the forward pocket.
And I still think it's crazy to this day that you've got a player that kicks a goal, but because it's their turn to come off, if it's their turn to come up, they come off.
Yeah.
If a player kicks a goal, leave them out there.
Exactly.
They might kick more.
Now, can I tell you this? When we did the Nightcliff-Darwin game, we got some information from the players. One of the things that they didn't like, the women, in great numbers, said standing on the mark just doesn't work in women's football. It stops the game too much rather than it gives you free play.
No, because what they need to do, Charlie, I feel, is that they need to take advantage of the girl that's standing on the mark, because she can't move until the umpire says so. You can start running around. You've gained 5 metres off her, plus you've just gained another 5 or 10 to get the distance with that ball. So I just think they just need to take more advantage of it.
Okay.
In an attacking way, not a defensive way.
Right.
So back in the middle, the umpire throws it up.
Now, some districts might have kicked the ball the wrong way that time.
I think they did there. That's usually a carton on the Fine Masters sheets, that is. So Jessie Brock moves it forward, influential player.
That's a good pick-up.
Picked up there by
Toy.
Toy picked it up, and a good mark taken by Waterbury in front. This is probably just on her distance, Charlie, as Coops rushes back to the goal square. In these conditions, it'll take a very good kick directly in front. Gets close to the girl on the mark, and it was touched on the line. So Coops needed to stay on the goal line there and try and shepherd that one through. But again, good work by Waterbury in the forward line.
Yeah, that was a good kick. Good mark, good kick. Went straight down the corridor as well, so they're confident at the moment.
So playing on St Mary's player. Can't see her hair's that long. I can't see her number. She was running out there. It's a good kick in the end. It's 80 metres away from the Southern District's goal, but here it comes flying back in. Misread by Waterbury. Hewitt's at the back. Picks it up now. Spins out into some trouble. Hand passes to Coops. Well done by St Mary's. Now they kick it out of the defensive 50, but it's a nest of crocs out there. Paddled forward by St Mary's. If they can get this ball over the top, they've got some numbers just forward of the ball, but good work by Southern Districts in Walsh. Walsh moves it forward. Here's Toy, kicked again into the forward line. In front is Grace Whitaker. She's called to play on it. Was touched around the quarter snap. How does it bounce through for a minor score? So she read that like a book, Charlie, but it must have been touched in flight because the umpire called it a play on.
Yes. Kiana Toy, what about that's 2 blistering runs down the middle and great kicks and marks taken downfield, even though that one might have been touched.
And there's the St Mary's player then kicking out Toy. So she started this quarter absolutely on fire. So just at the top of the 50 here for Southern District's grandstand side in the 2 muddy patches. So the forward flanks here are just grandstand side of the mud patches here at Marara today. Pye throws it up. Brock again just winning it too easily. Good body work there. Couldn't quite grab it. There's Nan Curvis. How many marks do you reckon she's taken? That'll be about 8 or 9.
Solid, hasn't she?
She hasn't dropped one yet. I've played on her a few times and she reads it so well, Charlie. And a great player. Love it. There's no sort of malice in there, and she's a great leader. There's Janome Anderson. She's got really no one to kick to. There's Nan Curvis again. Takes it on the bounce. No fumble in these conditions for her. She loves these conditions. It trickles in to the forward 50. At the back, Jasmine Bonson. She needs to get rid of it. Handballs to space, but there's only Southern District players there. And Jasmine Bonson has to go in for it again. She finally finds a teammate. Shovels it out to Stevens. Stevens kicks it into the corridor. And there's Nan Curvis. I'm going for about 9. I'm going to start counting how many marks that she's taken, but I reckon she's taken about 9, Charlie. So yes. I'm going to keep a stud on that.
She's reading it beautifully.
She's going to break a record if anyone's kept any here in women's footy. Gets it to the top of the 50, trying to pick it up. There was not Davidson, sorry. That was Anik Sito for Southern Districts. Good mark taken by Forshaw. Wet conditions, her teammate just couldn't grab that one in Forsbrook, and she's under the footy. The umpire is going to ball it up, at the top of the 50. Sorry, that was Grant. Grant. Jumpers are getting a bit muddy now. Brock wins that one down. Smashes it down to a teammate. They can't clear it. Here's Croops. Manages to get the ball 10 metres forward. Shaw overruns it. Brock's there as well. Shoveled us out to Hewitt. Her kicks smothered. Hewitt can go in again. Southern District's just hand passing to space, but doing enormous work down there is Forshaw for St Mary's. And there's Hewitt. In front is a St Mary's player. Waterbury goes in for a big tackle. Is that throwing the footy? It is. So Waterbury just absolutely read the hips of her opponent and just shoved her to ground and has earned the free kick. So she's already got a goal. Going to kick it from 15 metres out, and she's sprayed it across the face and has missed everything.
Missed everything. She probably should have gone back a little further than where she went. Because
I feel that she's rushing herself just a little bit there. Keely Waterbury, also a good touch player. Keely, I think her dad is the Lee Waterbury, so he's the one that helps out with the NT rep side and with Southern District's men's as well. So taken out of the ruck by Coops, and Coops has kicked Southern District's 4th goal of the game. So Chiara Coops has also had a magnificent game for Southern Districts, and she's kicked her first goal of the game. Southern Districts have 4-2-26. St Mary's still yet to score, and we've gone 5.5 minutes in the second quarter.
So Whittaker, Waterbury, Coops and Hewitt all kicking goals. Had to come, Tash, with all the pressure that was on. The first quarter it was all up the other end of the ground when Southern Districts were kicking there. This quarter they're kicking to the airport end. All of the play is down there. They're doing all the little things well as well.
Yeah.
Southern Districts.
They're under enormous pressure. I think they might need to bite the bullet, Charlie. I'm just trying to pick up where Janome Anderson is. I think they need to play her behind the footy, so in the half-back flank, and just try and sacrifice her getting the ball in the middle to just try and help her defensive 5 back there. So in the forward 50 again here by Southern Districts, taken without the footy. The umpire lets it go. She's dragged it back in. The umpire needs to...
Lucky to get away with that one.
She dragged that one back in. St Mary's unlucky not to get a free kick. The Rucks will go at it. The umpire will throw it up 48 metres away from the District's goal. Good tap down by Brock again. Gets it to her teammate in Berry. So Berry kicks it forward and just through for a minor score. That was number 25. We don't have number 25 on here, but I think it might be Rihanna Hewitt.
Yeah, because she doesn't have a number.
Yeah, there's no number.
You want to give her a number?
So we're giving her 25.
She's got a stat.
Oh, dear.
So the St Defenders working hard here, but they're under enormous pressure.
And I can't pick up who's doing the kick-outs, Charlie. If you could just look at the fullback where the number, her hair is that long, I can't see her number, but she's doing an amazing job back there on Waterbury and with the kick-outs under so much pressure. So they've got it near the boundary line here. Powell's on the bottom of the pack. The umpire says, give it to me. So it's just in front of the interchange here for St Mary's, grandstand side.
Battle well there, Powell.
Good work by Brock again. Coops read it best. Getting in there is Jasmine Bonson as well as Forshaw, who's absolutely had a blinder of a game so far under enormous pressure. There goes the fullback for Waterbury again, just too easy. Nudges their opponent out the way and kicks a goal. She's got her 2nd of the game. Southern Districts have their 5th. And the poor fullback down there, just a little bit of a mismatch. She's under so much pressure, but good body work by Keely Waterbury in the end and just nudged her opponent away from the footy, picked it up and slotted it through from 15 metres out.
So you go back to the 50-metre line and Brock winning that tap. She's just dominating in the ruck contest, isn't she? And they're feeding off her. She's winning them so easily, and they're running out of there and creating space and then being able to kick goals. So 5 goals to them now. And pretty good effort.
They've made that change down there. So the young player, they've made the change on Waterbury down there, Charlie. So they've put the back pocket onto Waterbury at fullback. Just a bit more body size to go with her there.
Waterbury's just too big and strong, isn't she?
Big and strong, and just the experience. She knows how to use her body well. So Brock wins that, but this time it's sharked. Well done by Harris. So that's what they need to do. And she's dumped after she's kicked the footy. She looks in enormous pain, Charlie. So she's holding her shoulder. She was dumped after she kicked it. The umpire let it go. It looks like she's going to come off. which will be a big loss for St Mary's because she started the game well. It's on centre wing, the far side. Handball comes out to Brock. She goes back to Nan Curvis. Nan Curvis with a good 40-metre kick forward. Goes over the head of Powell. Back there is Force.
Powell, maybe.
Yeah, I think that gets over the top. So coming out was Grace Whitaker. She overran it. It's in the centre square. Now Whitaker with a check side kick, gets it in. It bounces to Waterbury in wet conditions. She's taken without the footy, manages to shrug her opponent. Then she's taken down. Well done to Forshaw. Waterbury picks it up again. Hand passes to space, looking for a teammate. A good smother there by Forshaw. She is under so much pressure, Charlie, and she is doing so well. She goes in for a fifth effort, tries to kick it, goes in for a smother, and she saves a goal on her 8th effort in the defensive 50, if you don't mind, Charlie, to save them a goal.
Good effort, really good effort.
Emma Forshaw, well done. You can see her with her hands on her head. She's absolutely spent. But she smothered that kick from Coops. It was directly in front and it went through for a behind.
The handball should have went to Waterbury though before that.
It should have, and there's a 50, so Waterbury wasn't happy with something. And here's the player that I've been trying to pick up her number. There's not much size to her. She's got height, Charlie, and it's Parnell. Yeah, I think it's number 10. I think it's Karali Parnell.
Karali Parnell.
Yeah, so that is her, and she's playing a ripper of a game.
Kieran's sister, I think.
Yeah, kicks it to Long. Long misread it. Up and under kick by Southern District. So it's the first time St Mary's have been in their forward half. They're going to go again. Needs to get rid of it. Kick it now, and she does. It comes off the side of the boot, so it went across the ground instead of forward. Picked up there by Southern District. Boots it forward. Whitaker's all by herself. They need to make sure they man up on her. Well done, Forshaw. Charlie, she's my player of the quarter so far. We've only gone 10 and a half minutes in, but she is giving absolutely everything for St Mary's. And we've got 2 runners in the way of the play. The umpires let it go.
Emily Forshaw, terrific effort.
And just on centre wing, lucky to not give away the free kick. St Mary's just manages to get the ball forward. They've got no numbers there. Good pick up by the Southern District's player in Hanson. She drives it forward, just a drop mark. Rock at the back. She'll puddle it to herself, then gives it to Coops. Coops is holding the footy. Yep, good tackle again by, I thought that was Parnell, but it's not Parnell. It's going to go the way of, I think that's Anne Cito, is that how you say number 18, Charlie?
Inacito, yeah.
Inacito. So on centre wing, kicked off the ground. She's held without the footy. The umpire has found a free kick. It's going the way of Southern Districts. So that's Hanson again that hit that pack last time, Charlie, and drive the ball forward for Southern Districts. On centre wing, close to the boundary line, and she's flirted with her luck there, and it's gone out of bounds on the full. Jared Eilert will have to rescue this ball from the top, and they hit it was in the paddle of water, and they've hit the top, and Jared's got soaked.
He's standing underneath it, he copped it.
They had to get the ball down, and he's got absolutely soaked. It's all happening here at Marara. So kicked it to centre wing. St Mary's have done well. Tony will allow them to get the 2 goals in this quarter. Hewitt picks it up, shovels it out. Nikita Long comes through. She wed that. Ancito kicks it forward. Then who to? Charlie? Nan Curvis. Chops it off.
She's a magnet, she is.
Kicks it to Brock. Brock takes it on the bounce, shovels it back to a teammate. She tries to kick it forward, but it went off the side of her boot 5 metres. Now it's into the forward 50. Waterbury's in front. She should take this. She does on the second grab.
She's a good player.
She plays on. Forshaw's in the goal square, and again she's hit the behind post, so it's going to be a boundary throw-in.
But the quality of controlling that ball, the mark and the spin, and to run away from that defender, she did really well. The kick let her down in the end.
Yeah, she's making the most of the inexperienced backline that St Mary's have today, as you would, Charlie, when you've got that bit more of experience. Yeah. You know where to run. Brock takes us out of the ruck, but she's going to give away the free kick, I think, for a hold. So that's Parnell. You can mark her on the sheet, Charlie. I think she's been one of St Mary's better players here today. Kicked off the ground, off the 50. St Mary's, Nan Curvis is there. She's best on ground by far, Nan Curvis. And it's going to be a ball up. They can't get it out. The umpire has pinned her. That's a really, really, really tough call. They all think it's a ball up. And they've chucked it to the umpire thinking it's a ball up, but Nan Curvis has got the free kick.
Well, they should have known it would go to her.
She's covered in mud. You probably can't see. She's trying to get the mud out of her eyes. First at the ball is Forshaw, and it's come off her boot, unfortunately, so it's going to be out of bounds on the full. Free kick going the way of Abby Hewitt here for Southern Districts. Grandstand side, she's right on the boundary line.
Has a goal already, Hewitt.
So beyond her measure, she needs to look in the corridor. Waterbury's there. That's where she goes. Waterbury's front. From behind, it goes over the back. Coming there is Jess Brock against Parnell. Parnell and Brock, then Waterbury picks it up. She kicks it forward, and Forshaw, she takes the mark in front of the goals. She's saved them a couple of goals, and now she's earned them a 50-metre penalty. If anyone deserves it back there, it's her, Charlie.
She's worked hard, hasn't she?
She has worked very, very hard, and no one's going to stand the mark, so she can keep running. Don't hand pass yet. She sold her teammate under trouble. They've given it back to Forshaw. Now she's kicked it forward. Long reads that best, so that's Nikita Long, takes the mark.
Famous name.
Just forward of the centre circle here. Now she drives it in. It's the first time it's gone into the 50 here for St. Mary. Janomi Anderson's back there. They need to get the ball in her hands. They need to put the pressure on now. Good body work. Need to not give away the free kick here. The St. Mary's forwards. It's the first time it's been down there. Now the handball comes out to a teammate. I think that's Swords. Swords gets it back to her teammate front and centre. Good body work there. Coming through the pack front and centre. A shot on goal, and they've got their first goal of the game. Well worked there by St. Mary, Charlie. The first time they've gone inside the forward 50. And just wait for that player to turn around.
Jumped on the spillage there and just gathered
there
it.
She's running back to the middle, Charlie. We need to keep an eye on that number there so we can make sure we give her the goal.
That's her crossing the 50.
Yeah, yep. So we're just, for those listeners, she's just running back into the ruck or to the into the midfield role.
But there was a spillage and she just pounced on it and then snapped that goal and kicked. It was a good goal.
At speed in these conditions, she picked it up one grab and just drove the ball forward. So just keep an eye. I reckon
Might
it's...
be Powell, is it?
No, I think it's Marsland. I reckon it's Marsland, Charlie. That's who I'm giving it to. I reckon it's number 8 for St. Mary's. No, it's number 14.
Number 14 was Powell.
Krieger. No, for St. Mary's.
Oh, sorry, you looked at the line. Yeah, Craigan.
Yep.
Craigan, yeah.
Craigan. So St. Mary, Southern Districts go forward again, close to the boundary line. Birdo can't get there first against Forshaw. Forshaw gets on top of the footy, then she's taken high. The umpire didn't give the free kick. She goes in for a third effort, gets it out. Coops drives it forward. And Cedo was there, but picked up by Whittaker. She's close to the boundary, sells the dummy, keeps hold of the footy, and then she has a shot at goal, and she's just missed it to the near side.
She sold a bit of candy, didn't she?
She did sell some candy, and then she nearly dropped the footy, but she managed to hold it in these conditions.
But then she changed hands with it as well. It was a party trick. It was a sensational bit of play.
Well done to Grace Whittaker, and here's Parnell. She's done the kick-out duties all day, and at least every time she's got it past the defensive 50, which is what St. Mary's want. Nearly a mark taken by Coops. And the umpire, the furthest umpire away, has found a free kick. It's going the way of St. Mary's. She didn't really get back on her mark, but the umpire let it go. As the siren sounds for half-time here at Marara, Southern Districts are leading St. Mary's 5-5-35. St. Mary's just the one goal that they just got before half-time.
Good half of footy, entertaining game of footy. 36 plays 6. Southern Districts led by 18 points at quarter time, and they take it out a little further now at three-quarter time. Great lead to them, great effort from that game. Let's look at the goal scorers for them. 2 to Keely Waterbury. She's been terrific up in forward. She's a strong player. She's got good ability to read the play and step around players. Once you get on.
You know what great mates Territorians can be. Always willing to lend a hand. Or something else. So if they ever ask to borrow your car, as you know they will, you can say yes, knowing that your TIO comprehensive car insurance has them covered. Same as you. It's good to know. So get a quote today. TIO. We're for Territorians.
Absolutely zero.
Zero.
Yeah, definitely.
It has to be 0.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's asking too much.
Domestic violence is everybody's business.
And it's not just the physical abuse, it's the things we don't see.
It is hurting our families. It is killing our families.
A lot of people have been silent to this fact, and I think it's about time we all speak up together and say no more to this form of abuse.
No more.
No more. No more family violence.
No more to the family violence.
No more. No more.
No more.
Everyone feels stressed or worried from time to time.
There's no shame in asking for help.
Yarning to friends or family can make you feel better.
Sometimes it's as simple as a text or a phone call.
If you or someone you know needs support,
visit www.mentalhealthnt.com.au.
Listen on kids.
Make school your story.
Help you succeed and rise to glory.
Safe to go to school.
So go the distance. 10 every day. Learn and listen. School holiday rockin', we love our break.
Time with friends and family is always right.
When it's time for school, don't get slack.
It's safe to go to school, can't wait to get back. So don't cut corners.
Do the full term. It's safe to go to school and it's time to learn. So don't cut corners, do the full term. Make school your story and it's time to learn.
School returns February 2021. Written and authorised by the Northern Territory Government.
Time to escape, cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co., the beer from up here.
At Muzzbuzz, keep cool this summer with our new range of frappes, including cookies and cream, chai and matcha. You can also enjoy our totally scrumptious range of food and snacks, Australian owned and operated. Muzzbuzz, great coffee is just the beginning.
On Territory roads, anything can happen, so you need to drive to the conditions. Speeding can get you into all sorts of trouble. Dirt roads aren't just dusty. When it's hard to see, they're dangerous. At water crossings, remember, you're driving a motor car, not a boat. High water can be deep trouble. All sorts of animals can be on the road, so watch out. And if the weather is bad, slow down, you mob. Drive to the conditions and arrive in good condition.
The time to kickstart your business is now. Get your message across with the experienced local TV production team at Kick Digital. Cost effective, rapid turnaround, exceptional service. Kick Digital. Television production energised.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal for all school-related activities. 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact CFS Gear for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Vaccinate. To protect our players.
To protect our coaches.
To protect our umpires.
To protect our supporters.
To protect our game.
Head to the Danila Dilba website for more information.
Getting my hands on the footy and just being with my mates.
I like being outdoors. It just makes me happy.
I don't like it when I get yelled at.
It's pretty embarrassing when someone's shouting at you halfway through the game.
It makes me feel like I'm useless and I can't do anything.
We're just kids.
We're just here to have fun.
Let us do what we love.
Just let kids be kids.
You know Territorians are a hardy bunch. Hats off to you. Whether you're new or you've been here forever, we know what the weather can throw at us. That's why TIO Home Insurance covers your home for cyclone, storm surge and flood. It's good to know. And with the only contact centre, claims team and assessors based in the Territory, we're here when you need us most. TIO, we're for Territorians.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
into position. So disciplined, they've worked everything out. They've got a game plan that's working, hasn't it? It would seem.
Yeah, they do, Charlie, and I just think it's the words that Westy spoke about and Jess. They've got a real good connection down there, and like they said, they're doing pretty well in these conditions, but they know that St Mary's will probably come back as well, so they can't sort of take their eye off the prize.
Well, they're 30 points in front here, going into the last half of this game.
So Hewitt applies big tackle in the centre square, so the centre circle, sorry, so the umpire's going to ball it straight back up. Brock wins that one down on the second tap. Hewitt's there first for Southern District, so that she shovels it forward, finds a teammate who drives it into the forward 50. How does it bounce? Forshaw's there, she overruns it, picked up by a St Mary's defender. She kicks across the face in the corridor. Whitaker picks it up in these conditions. Hewitt is taken pretty high, and she was absolutely flattened by Janome Anderson. There was no malice in it, Charlie. She just caught her blindsided, but just got her a bit high. So she's going to take her free kick at the top of the 50, directly in front, well within her measure in these conditions.
Well, she kicked a goal in the first quarter, but a little closer than this one.
She drives it in. Forshaw's there, smashed away from the back, kicked off the ground there by Stevens. Good body work by Coops. Stevens tries to paddle it to herself. Coops picks it up. Must have been the chat that Shannon Rusker gave her, but she's caught holding the footy. So the free kick is going the way of St Mary's in the defensive 50 here. So she's going to look to clear the footy. Been hard work trying to clear the defensive 50 here today, St Mary's, and again they've flirted with the boundary line and it's gone over, but the good thing, it was touched, Charlie, so it's not a free kick.
And Jen, a real challenge here for St Mary's to see what they can do when they're looking down the barrel. Let's see if they can close this margin. 30 points it is at half time. Let's see what it is at the end of the match.
Umpire throws it in. Rocky again wins that one from Krieger. So at the top of the 50, still pack of players around this footy trying to shovel it out, and in these conditions the umpire's like, get it out, you're trying to, it's just not going anywhere. In the forward pocket now for Southern Districts, they've got 2-on-2 down there. Now the number pushes back as Stevens for St Mary's, just behind the footy. Whitaker picks it up, she drops it, she was looking for her right boot, she keeps it in, she tries to sell the candy, she's caught with the footy and caught holding the ball by Stevens. So a good tackle applied down there by the St Mary's defender.
They were relentless. Relentless. They just kept at her and finally got it off her.
And again, they'll just flirt with the boundary line. Didn't have the power or the purchase on that, so couldn't hit her target. Puts her defensive 5 under pressure again, and there's going to be a free kick going the way of Coops. She looks in the corridor, kicked off the ground by Krieger. That's the ruck that kicked the only goal for St Mary's so far, kicked it in the second quarter. And Krieger just was a bit held on a little bit too long there against Coops, and has given away the free kick. So Coops again with her second free kick in a matter of seconds. 45-degree angle. She's going to have to kick it from 40. Needs to put it to the hot spot. She ignores the lead of Waterbury. Now she goes. Now Waterbury turns around and she takes the ball. She nearly took it. She dropped it just at the last minute. Sliding mark as well. Nearly took a ripper in these conditions. It's in the corridor. The 50 here for Southern Districts, trying to get it out. They've got the numbers here, Southern Districts. St Mary's need to get a few players behind the footy. Now they do. They've cleared it. Here's Krieger. She goes without it. Tries to paddle it back to a teammate. She goes in for a second crack. Coops is in there as well. There's players diving and falling over everywhere. Finally, it's picked up, kicked forward. Charging at the balls, Grace Whitaker. Couldn't pick it up. Now she does. She's tackled straight away. Hand passes to a teammate running past. That's smothered by Forshaw. And Forshaw's back in there as well. Number of players around this pack. Now it comes out to Forshaw. She's close to the boundary line. Coops tackles her. Southern Districts got possession of the footy. I thought she was caught holding the ball again. Charlie, this ball's not going anywhere, but they're just ferocious at their tackling. And now finally a shot on goal misses to the near side. There was amount of contested possessions there, Charlie, but they were relentless, the St Mary's defenders, and just kept tackling them.
There were 20 players around the field fall of the ball.
So Parnell's going to come to the grandstand side. There's 2-on-2. She's going to look for Anderson. Anderson's usually good in these conditions. Takes the mark over the back, if you don't mind. Brilliant mark. Kicks it into the centre square. Bounces over the top of a number of players, but Simmons will get there. Then it's kicked off the ground by Hanson for Southern Districts. Kicked off the ground by Anderson. It's on centre wing here for St Mary's. If they can get a goal, will look pretty good. It will get their tails up. St Mary's still in the centre square. Anderson tries to pick it up. Kicking in danger. The umpire did not see it. He was blindsided. She nearly got her hand kicked off. There was Anderson. Now she goes in again. She kicks it off the ground. Ricochets off a St Mary's player in Hewitt. So Hewitt's around the pack, then Anderson's still in there. Finally it comes out to Hewitt. That's Rihanna Hewitt. Kicked into the 50, trying to be picked up there by Grace Whitaker. She was dispossessed by Forshaw and then absolutely crunched in a high tackle. Kiara Coops.
Coops just ran straight. She was bending down to pick the ball up and Coops was running straight at her and went right over the top of her.
Yeah, gosh, there was, and again, no malice in it. She just didn't slow down her run. That's a high tackle. The umpires found it. So
rare free kick given away by Toy, and she gets a shove for her troubles.
Bit of feeling, I think, coming into this game, Charlie. I think St Mary's are really trying to lift. Good bodywork off the ball. St Mary's with a bit of space, bit of time goes
Good
to
vision.
Maslin. So Maslin on centre wing. That should be 50. She's encroached the mark. You can hear the crowd absolutely going off. The umpires have just put their whistles away for now, but Marsland was right. You cannot go impede the player with the free kick or with the ball. You cannot go within that protected zone.
Well, she knows the rule and she's got her hands out saying, what's going on?
She brushed past her, Charlie. So, and there's Jess Brock's mum now throwing the ball in. So the young girl that we just umpired, young lady, just interviewed, sorry. So kicked off the ground for St Mary's. It's in the forward 50 for the first time in this quarter. The last time they did it in the second quarter, they kicked a goal. Good work to Nikita Long. Gives it back to Marsland off the side of the boot, and it trickles just through for a behind. Charlie, if it bounced the other way, it would have been a goal.
Well, it was going for the goals, and then it was turned into a big off break, and it spun away to the right hand side.
Unlucky, but Marsland with the shot on goal. And coming away is Hanson. That's a good kick out. Finds Abby Hewitt out wide.
Nice mark, Hewitt.
Going to the fat side here at Marara. To the old scoreboard side. In front of the old scoreboard now. Trickles to the back. Jasmine Bonson's got time and space. She's got to play it all by herself. She picks it up. Dances inside her opponent. She can drive it into the 50. She goes into the corridor. The umpire says play on. But she was dumped after she kicked the footy. So she's earned herself a free kick, just trying to pick up.
Bracey took the mark, but it only travelled about 3 metres.
Yeah, I think it's Bracey, but I think it was downfield, Charlie. So there's Marsland, punched away by Hewitt. Good pick up by Bracey. Bracey gives it to Nikita Long. She's had an impact, Charlie, in this start of this quarter. Kicked forward. Missed the mark, Denomi Anderson. She does a snap and she's kicked it behind. Oh, they're peppering the goals here. They're going to rue their opportunities here, Charlie. St Mary's.
She did well, Long then, Anderson then. She had to spin around on a dime.
And the experience Nikita Long takes as well, Charlie. You can see the handballs that she's giving to her running players. She's critical down that forward 50. Good mark by Toy. She plays on.
Toy is superb today as well.
Kicks it out of the defensive 50. Good work by Nasita. And Nasito dispossessed. St Mary, Southern District trying to break the lines here. Forshaw should get there first. She kicks it off the ground. They've got some numbers here. There's Marsland. She goes without it. St Mary's over it. Nern Curvis tries to dispossess her. She does. Shovels it out to a teammate. Well done by Southern Districts. Hanson with a left foot kick.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, couldn't take the mark was Hewitt. Dispossessed. Number of players in the centre square here trying to get it out. She's taken high. The umpire was blindsided again. She nearly got her head ripped off. You can hear the crowd going off. Forshaw has moved forward, Charlie. She's on centre wing. She kicks it into the 50, gets behind the footy, picked up by Anderson, gets in there now. St Mary's player was taken down without the footy. They shovel it back now, kicked forward. Nikita Long should get there. She takes a diving mark, just drops it at the last minute. They've got the numbers here. Here's Simmons. Simmons trying to pick it up. She's taken high and she's earned herself a free kick. Now they need to look for Janomi Anderson, Charlie. She's too far out. She's directly in front. She's 45 out. She kicks it now. Anderson will fly at this. Third in line. She couldn't take it. She puts on a shepherd for Marsland. Marsland with the snap. Nikita Long pushes their opponent off. picks it up off the ground, doesn't fumble. Again, she goes in for a second crack. Shepherd's for her teammate and taken high
That's a
again,
high-
and the
high
umpire
tackle.
didn't see it. She's absolutely crunched, and the umpire saying she ducked into it. She was picking up the ball. She's
Yes.
still down. You've got to protect players in that situation. It was definitely not a duck. She didn't have possession of the footy. She was bending down to pick it up. And quite dangerous play, Charlie.
Absolutely.
You've got to protect that player. So he's going to get him to throw it back in. So doing his best, the young fella out there, the umpire, but probably just needs to get in a better position in a couple of times. But he's doing his best. Anderson in the ruck against Nankervis. Two experienced players all go diving into that. There's a number of players like 10-pin bowling. There was a ball and pins went dropping everywhere. So Anderson will go again against Nankervis. Ball up directly in front of St. Mary's goal, 30 metres out. Naomi Anderson kicks it off the ground, but kicking in danger.
So Toy might be the recipient of this free kick, you would think.
That she is. So just kicking in danger there. Don't run through the mark, and it's 50. So unfortunately, the St. Mary's player in Simons was following her opponent, but she's ran through the mark. Anderson goes down on all fours, pleading her case that they haven't won a free kick for anything. And the 50 up here, Charlie, that should have been a 50 for St. Mary's.
Yeah.
So shoveled back. Southern Districts are finding this quarter a little bit hard. Jessie Brock gets rid of her opponent, comes back in for St. Mary's. Getting in line, a good mark again. Nikita Long lays a tackle. She's caught her. Well done, Nikita Long. She was caught behind, Charlie, never gave up, and a terrific tackle on Natalie Wilson.
She lunged at her and caught her and dispossessed her.
So just an errant handball there by Nikita. She needed to go back and take her kick. Marsland dragged to the ground. She handballs to no one. They're putting pressure on themselves here, St. Mary's. Just shovels it out. Wilson gets it again. She's tackled by Marsland. Kiana Toy kicks it out wide, looking for Kelsey Burdo. It's on centre wing. Burdo with the contest. They need to touch it here. They keep it in. Again, she's taken high. She's trying to bend over and pick up the footy. The umpire lets it go. It's 2-on-1. St. Mary's are the one, and they win possession, trying to handball it. Nankervis, I think that is out there, trying to kick it forward for Southern Districts. St. Mary's have come out with a lot more grunt, and just as Abby Hewitt had broken the pack, the umpire's going to ball it up.
Gee, Saints showing a little bit of spirit here. They just really don't like the look of that scoreboard. Tash, and they're a proud club, aren't they?
If they can get a goal here, Charlie, and you know we've gone nearly 12 and a half minutes gone in this third quarter, they'll be happy with that if they keep Southern Districts scoreless, which they've only, I think, got a point in this quarter.
Well, percentage might come into this. Their percent coming into this game, St. Mary's, is 178. Districts was 115.
Yeah, so quite close, but the free kick going the way of Southern Districts. So Hanson, that is out there, looking for Powell. It's close to the boundary line. It's going to be a boundary throw in. They managed to get hands to it, so not the last touch rule. So they're going to set directly on centre wing here as Krieger here for St. Mary's looks to come back on. So they're bringing off Nikita Long. Had a brilliant game so far. Her experience and that rundown tackle was absolutely brilliant. Just lift her team. The ruckwomen, I should say, both miss it. It goes over the top. Number of players again dive on the footy. St. Mary's will be happy with these stoppages as long as Southern Districts aren't scoring. They've really slowed down everything here for Southern Districts.
Tash, we just got a text to tell us that Emily Forshaw is playing only her second season of footy.
Oh wow, really?
Pretty good.
Wow, that's an amazing effort.
She's had a good game,
yeah,
hasn't she?
she has, and yeah, when we played them, she was everywhere as well, Charlie. I matched up on her a few times, and she doesn't take a backward step. Let me tell you that. So Nankervis again with one of her 10, I think that might be 11 marks we're up to. A good kick out to Kiana Powell, who spills the mark over the boundary line. So she really needed to take that. They've moved it forward. They're 80 around from goal, Southern Districts. We've gone 14 minutes in this third quarter. So only a point for Southern Districts this quarter, 2 points for St. Mary's. So a much even quarter. St. Mary's have really lifted. So Jared must have said something pretty good to lift them at halftime.
Well, he got a dousing with the water.
Yeah, he did. And there's Forshaw. So they've put her on the ball. I think that's a great move as well. She's creating opportunities from the centre. She gets it back to a teammate. She tries to get rid of the footy. Forshaw's going to get it back again. She gets her kick smothered for the second time in a row. In a bit of space was Parnell. Parnell kicks it to the centre square. A good tackle, but
good tackle.
We was like, did well not to give away the free kick. It's going to be
she did that.
Up.
She ran from behind and got the tackle and then rolled sideways.
On her side,
so as not to give away the free kick.
Textbook tackle there on Forsbrook. So District's just
Harris
overrun
to take
the footy.
It from the air.
Kicks it out wide as the siren ends right on the 15-minute mark of the third quarter. So St Mary's are still trailing Southern Districts 5-6-36. St Mary's 1-2-8, but a much better quarter to St Mary's. They actually won that quarter by a point.
You know what great mates Territorians can be. Always willing to lend a hand, or something else. So if they ever ask to borrow your car, as you know they will, you can say yes, knowing that your TIO comprehensive car insurance has them covered. Same as you. It's good to know. So get a quote today. TIO. We're for Territorians.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Time to escape, cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
You know Territorians are a hardy bunch. Hats off to you. Whether you're new or you've been here forever, we know what the weather can throw at us. That's why TIO Home Insurance covers your home for cyclone, storm surge and flood. It's good to know. And with the only contact centre, claims team and assessors based in the Territory, we're here when you need us most. TIO, we're for Territorians.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
ones coming through. We've sort of got a gap of some of the girls that were coming through that were going to stay there. They've either moved down south, had babies and that sort of stuff. So it's just really thrown our team into disarray. But, you know, the exciting thing for Jared is that the under-18s girls that he's blooding, they're doing well in under-18s as well. They won the premiership last year. So they've got great juniors, and so do the Crocs.
You know, the Southern Districts players, some of those big, strong players for them have done really well. And we're starting to see Nikita Long get involved. She's a really strong player for St. Mary's. If she can get herself, I'm not sure where they're playing her now. She was playing full forward. I can't.
Yeah, I think they brought her off. I'm going to check for the aircon's actually turned off. I'm just going to quickly put that back on, Charlie, before we sauna in here.
Yes, we're toughing it out here for those people who are sitting out there in the rain. It's pretty tough in here with the air conditioning. If the air conditioning goes off, we're in trouble. So last quarter about to get underway here, and so 30 points the margin at half-time it was, and we said the measure will be for St. Mary's whether they can make an impact on that lead during the second half. Well, they did by 2 points in the third quarter. Let's see what they can do in the last quarter. Here's Tash.
Sorry, this time it was won by St. Mary's in the ruck. So already, Charlie, that's a win on the board, and they've put Parnell. So Parnell's gone into the ruck against Jess Brock. Let's see, ball up again. Brock wins that one to Toy. Kicked by Hewitt. That's Abby Hewitt for Southern Districts forward. Well read by Stevens. She gets first to the footy, but Toy's there again. She goes and sells the candy, Charlie, and then drives it into the 50. Drop marked there, unfortunately, by the Southern Districts player. Grace Whitaker's there trying to kick it off the ground as a St. Mary's player 3 times in a row. Abby Hewitt gets there now. She picks it up, but she's tackled straight away, and the umpire is going to call a ball up 48 metres away from the Southern Districts goal.
Gee, when you compare Toy and Nankervis together, it's hard to pick who's the better player on the day. Both of them have just been sensational, haven't they?
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one. So Parnell wins that ruck, plus she sharks her own footy and hand passes to some space, but it's still at the top of the 50. Then they get it to Parnell again. She gets rid of it, coming in and thrown off the ground. That was like the good old style tunnel ball at school by Davidson. She just picked it up and threw it behind her, trying to clear it. So St. Mary's with the free kick. Well done by Marsland from behind. Got the fist there. So St. Mary's just trying to move the ball forward. Marsland does now, and it's going to be picked up for a throw. So a free kick to St. Mary's. So still in the defensive half here, St. Mary's. I love that about women's footy. We don't make the opposition go and get their footy, Charlie. We actually kick it back to them.
Yeah, I know.
In the men,
isn't it a nice thing?
Yeah, in women's we don't seem to be like that. Unless it's a grand final, and then you don't do that.
Then you don't do it at all.
Yeah. So there's Forshaw. She's been an absolute gun for St. Mary's, probably my best player for St. Mary's. And there's Wilson. She's caught holding the footy. So here we go, Charlie. Where's Janome Anderson? She's not in there. Where is she? Now they kick it into the hot spot. First in line was St. Mary's player, picked up front and Senna. She was lucky not to get caught holding the footy. The umpire says play on, it's come out. Good tackle applied there by Nankervis. And a ball up, 30 from the St. Mary's goal.
Nankervis had her in a bear hug and didn't get the free kick, and then threw it to the ground. What I'm saying is she's very strong.
Yeah, she is. And Abby Hewitt's taken high there. And in that contest, it was 30 away from goal, but Janome Anderson was sitting on the 50 line. She needed to be around that contest. She's so dangerous. There, Abby Hewitt goes out wide, looking for Whitaker. Now Anderson's there. She ducks her head. Now she gets rid of the footy, goes in again now for a third effort. Janome Anderson, she's taken to the ground by Coops. Abby Hewitt has been an absolute star today for Southern Districts as well. That's come up from the Gold Coast, as Westy spoke about. So just to centre wing. Kick smothered there by Ancito. She goes in for a second effort. She's on top of the footy. Keely Waterbury's a long way from the goal. She's come up for a touch. Didn't get down to her too often in that third quarter, Charlie.
Ancito's been okay, hasn't she, really?
Yeah, she has been, Charlie, on the wing here.
When she's been involved.
And Parnell's been a great inclusion in the ruck. She won that one against Brock. Janome Anderson tries to get in there. Stevens off the side of the boot, bounces. St. Mary's player in Bryant trying to get there. She goes in again, helped out by her teammate in Grant. Here's Janome Anderson. thumping kick just goes about 30 metres up in the air, but about 10 metres sideways, and the umpire's going to pay that, as you should in these conditions, to Forsbrook. Forsbrook. Good kick to Marsland. She dives for the footy, then gets back to her feet. She tries to kick it forward. Sorry, that was Harris. At the top of the 50, kicked forward by McDowell. There's McDowell, the first game at Charlie. She kicks it forward. Here's the goal kicker for St. Mary's. Does she keep it in? She can't. So that was Krieger. So she's going to go in the ruck. So she's been moved to the forward 50, Charlie. She was playing the ruck the first 3 quarters, but they've put Parnell, which I think has been a brilliant move by Jared Eilert. So Krieger will go against Anand Curvis here. Forward pocket for St. Mary's. They desperately need a goal. They're trailing by 28 points. So smothered kick. Good tackle applied by Krieger, and it falls fortunately in the arms of the St. Mary's player in the forward 50, still a long way from goal. She's called to play on now. She dances around her opponent. She needs to get rid of it now. She kicks it to the square. Pushing the back umpire. He's let that go. And a mark taken back there by Hanson.
Nice mark, clean mark.
For Southern Districts. Again, close to the boundary line. It's going to be another boundary throw, and this time 40 around from from the St. Mary's goal on the far side of the ground.
Yeah, Tiana Hansen was good there. Second in line, as I said, took a really clean mark and then kicked it out wide, but it rolled over the boundary line. But she got it out of the danger area, which is what good defenders have to do.
Yeah, you can hold your body line in a mark. I thought she probably shoved her opponent a little bit on that goal square, but still in a dangerous position here. Just a sliding play by St. Mary's, and the hands get out. She's taken without the footy. That was Marsland. Now cleared from the defensive 50. A big kick in these conditions from the Southern District's defender. Then Coops gets it. She kicks it forward. There's only 4 players in the forward half for Southern Districts. 2 are St. Mary's, 2 are Southern Districts, and a great tackle laid. I think she's hit her head. She looks a bit groggy getting up there. The Southern Districts player, Janome Anderson, goes sliding in. She's trying to lift her team. She's still got it. Then she hand passes to where she could hear the voice. That player's absolutely crunched, and the umpire has found a free kick and no advantage played as Janome Anderson was streaming to the top of the 50. St. Mary's player plays on quickly. She's got a player all by herself out wide, and Bryant's got a bit of time. She can give it over the top. She tries to take on her opponent. Now she gives it. Probably took a little bit too long. Coops with a good tackle. Hand passes to no one. Here's McDowell, the first gamer. She keeps it in close to the boundary line, and it's managed to stay in. Hanson's got it. She needs to get rid of it. Good shepherd applied by Wilson. She's got a thumping kick, Hanson, doesn't she? She clears the defensive 50 quite easily. Then Coops gets hold of it. She kicks it to an opponent. She drops it. Good body work there by Harris. Oh, sorry, that's Harris. So we've got 2 Harris. Brooke and Madison. I thought I was seeing things.
Well, Brooke Harris was, like the first half, she was really, really good, wasn't she?
Yeah,
she was quiet in that third quarter.
She was. She's run out of puff probably a little bit. The Southern Districts here with a fight on their hands. They probably, that first quarter might have got them the lead that they needed, Charlie, because they found it very hard after half time. And there's that player for sure. She dropped the mark, but then she got boot to ball, kicked it to her teammate in Rees. Rees kicks it forward. 2 Southern Districts players can fight for it. And then they kick it out wide looking for Brock. Brock against Parnell. Parnell lays the tackle. Brock gets rid of it. Then she chases her own footy, Charlie. She's going to get to this contest. Harris shovels her back to a Southern Districts player. Now she kicks it to the top of the 50. 1-on-1. Good work back there by the other Ponta. That's Brooke Ponta. Yeah, that's Ponta. So it's 70 away from goal. Grace Whittaker tries to pick it up. Now she kicks it off the ground. Good tackle applied there by the Southern Districts player. I think that's Ponta. It's close to the boundary line. It hasn't gone out. Then it's thrown out the back. The umpire didn't see it. That was a good throw to her teammate. At least she took the opportunity. So Parnell's got it. Called to play on. Good kick. Spots up. There's Ancito. And Ancito, she's played well. She plays on.
That's a good kick.
Looking out wide to space. There's 2-on-2 here. They need to communicate, the Southern District's player, but Harris overran the footy. Then she left her teammate with 2 players on her, kicked up the ground by Hanson. Hanson's moved up forward from the footy. No, that's Walsh, sorry, Ashley Walsh. Good tackle applied by Hewitt. There's Anacito. She tries to kick it forward, but it's smothered off her boot. Southern Districts then kick it 30 metres forward their way. It's at the top of the 50. Good hands there by the Southern District player in Berry. Umpire lets that go.
She went straight in there, didn't she, Forshaw, with her head down?
She did. And the umpire had to let that go. Nikita Long's gone to the back line. So that's where she is now, Charlie. And there's Forshaw. She does not drop this one. Now they need to break to the open side here. She takes off. Grace Whitaker was on the mark, and a beautiful kick out towards Parnell. Parnell needs to kick it off the ground. She's got 2 against her. They need to get over there and help her. She picks it up, but Brock tackles her. They've got the numbers here, St Mary's, Charlie. They just need to communicate, and they can clear the ball. There's Anacito, and then she's caught holding the footy. The umpire lets it go. They've got time and space here. Harris kicks it forward. Good contest applied by the other Harris out there. Kiana Powell's in there. She's dispossessed. The pressure, I feel, is on Southern Districts at the moment. Here's Toy. Usually a good kick. Kicks it to space. But that girl, Forshaw, gets back there.
Oh,
she's got leather poisoning. She kicks it out wide. Looking for, I think this is the other. No, that's Marsland. Good tackle applied by Kiana.
Awkwardly.
Yeah, I thought that was her knee there. Let's just keep an eye on her. Luckily, she's back up. Good contest here on centre wing. Forshaw gets it again. She runs. She kicks. Howe tries to smother. Abby Hewitt's there. She kicks it forward to space. 1-on-1. Rook against Ponta. She falls over, gives it back to Toy. Toy dropped the footy. Now here's Coops. Coops can drive it into the 50 for Southern Districts. Hasn't been there very often. Nikita Long with a diving mark. She drops it. Keely Waterbury picks it up. She's dispossessed by Ponson. Then she goes in for a third effort. She's tackled again. They're under enormous pressure here. St Mary's defenders kicked across the face by Sarah Butt. And it trickles out of bounds for a boundary throw in the left forward pocket here for Southern Districts. All that hard work by St Mary's, and now it's in the Southern Districts forward pocket.
Well, they forced it down with sheer willpower in the end, didn't they? They didn't really kick it into spaces and mark it and that sort of thing.
And
they just got it there.
We've gone nearly 6. Oh, we don't have a time at the moment. Oh, there it is, 11 minutes in. And I reckon we've got another swirling shower coming, Charlie, because the trees look like a washing machine at the moment. And dispossessed. Nikita Long's in there. She needs to clear it. She needs to tap it out. She does. They're under enormous pressure, but well done back there to Ponta. She's been involved heavily in the last quarter. Good pick up by Marsland. But there's a free kick off the ball, so it's going the way of Stevens. Thought she had an injury, but she's got cramp.
Yeah, she's still on the ground. Oh, yeah, she's got some cramp.
So the free kick.
Shakira Stevens. What's the umpire going to do? Ball it up?
He's clearing the... I think he's called a halt, thinking that she was really injured, Charlie, because I've never seen that before. The ball was actually getting cleared.
She's just got cramp and she's still down on the ground.
Which is good umpiring. We've had this a couple of times. We've had players injured and the play nearly runs over the top of them. The umpire said he can't stop play unless a stretcher's coming out.
Right, so now some help's come out in the pink shirts.
So I hope it is just cramp. That's what it looked like. So we've gone, of course, there's no stoppage time in women's football. So the clock keeps ticking away. We've gone 12 and a half minutes. So Southern Districts are going to get the win here today, Charlie. We've only got about 3 minutes left.
I think this was worse than cramp. She's almost being carried off now. There's 2 people with her. She's got her arms around their shoulders and they're virtually dragging her. Her legs aren't moving.
Yeah, Daleen Boundary is there. She's one of the water runners today for Southern Districts. One of the runners, I should say. NTFL life member, of course.
It's a sad sign is she's trying to walk, but she just can't. It's almost dragging her along.
And it's young Stevens too for Shekinah Stevens, and she's been a quality player for them. Now they decide to pick her up, Charlie, and they're
carrying her off.
Because she looks in a bit of pain.
She's grimacing too,
yeah,
isn't she?
She is. So hopefully it is just cramp. So the umpire throws it up. So in the forward 50 here for Southern District, Hewitt is first at the ball, but she's tackled by Krieger. I reckon she's had a brilliant game as well for St. Mary's. Hasn't given up. Janome Anderson, bottom of the pack, as you'd expect. Umpire throws it up at the top of the 50. Both Huckman miss it. Comes out to Powell. Powell trying to steam roll forward. Can't get clean possession here, neither team. Now St. Mary's try and kick it forward. They were tackled, brought to ground, and I reckon there's going to be another ball up at the top of the 50 here. The umpire says, give it to me. So we spoke about it at the start of the game, Charlie, and said if whoever gets the jump on the game in the first quarter would potentially win out the game. And it's that first quarter.
Yeah.
It's those 3 goals that have basically won the game for Southern Districts.
Yeah, indeed.
So not long left.
And they increased it to 5 then by half time, didn't they?
Yep, it comes in. Big kick by Nankervis, gets to Waterbury. Waterbury hand passes off, and it's a goal. A good goal towards the end of this game by Southern Districts, and that was kicked by Sophie Berry. So Sophie Berry has kicked the 6th goal for Southern Districts here. They've gone goalless since the second quarter. So they've got their 6th on the board. They're going to go out winners here today by about 34 points. We don't have long left. We're just under 15 minutes. A brilliant effort by St. Mary's. The scoreline doesn't really justify the game. It was really that first quarter, I think, that Southern Districts got the hop on them. As they're waiting for the ball to come back to the middle, it's gone. Oh, we've got a yellow ball too, so I thought that they needed to change that ball at the start of the game.
If Foreshaw's gone into the middle.
And
if this ball hits the ground, I can tell you'll get it.
Forshaw, yeah, she's been... Here we go, Charlie, and she's got it. She makes the clearance. And a good contest there by Hanson, running back with the flight of the footy. She was not scared at all. Parked underneath, it's Forshaw again. At the back's Janome Anderson. She gets a handball up to Krieger. Krieger dispossessed, and Hanson kicks it forward for Southern Districts. Well done to Coop. She got to the front of the contest. There's just absolutely ferocious tackling in today's game. Both teams should be pretty proud of the tackling efforts, both coaches. There'd be a lot of stats for that. Hanson gets in there, shovels it back. Sorry, that was Walsh. Walsh goes in for a second effort. Shepherd's for her teammate, kicks it out wide to centre wing. We're just ticking to 16 minutes now. There's Ancido. She picks it up. She's tackled from behind. Gives it to her teammate in Simmons. Simmons kicks it straight to Kiana Toy. Hard to pick the best player out of those two, Charlie, Nankervis or Toy. To really get the game going. Southern Districts overrun it. Picked up by Whitaker. Hand passes to her teammate. Got a bit of space here, Southern Districts. They're 60 metres away from goal. St. Mary's dispossessed them. They kick it forward 10 metres. Still 80 metres away from the Southern Districts goal. The players are absolutely spent. There's not much movement up forward. Keely Waterbury now grabs it at the top of the 50. She's dispossessed with a good tackle. Janome Anderson gets in there, picks it up. She's ripped out of the contest by Keely Waterbury, and it's going to be a ball up 48 metres in front of the Southern Districts goal. That was ferocious tackle that Keely Waterbury just laid on Janome Anderson.
It's been good too, Janome Anderson. Really, as I said this before, I'm just so impressed with her. She's all Australian as well, isn't she?
Krieger goes in with a third effort as the siren sounds to end this game. What a wonderful game of women's football here today. Southern Districts are winners 6-6-42 to St. Mary's 1-8, 34-point winners, but the scoreline really doesn't justify the game that we've seen today, Charlie. The second half was very, very even, and as we just spoke about quickly, it was the 3 goals to zip first quarter that really got Southern Districts on the charge.
Well, it was after half time. It was, what was it, 1 goal to 2 points after half time. So it was a close second half. But that's right. They set it up in that first quarter. Those first 3 goals they got were just sensational stuff. But gee, they had some good players today. Southern Districts, hard to pick their top 3 or 4 players, but certainly Toy has been brilliant. Her kicking is a treat. She just can punt that ball, can't she?
In these conditions, her kicking, Nankervis's kicking, and Hanson from the back line.
They're big kickers.
Just big kicks, especially when the ball's very heavy in these conditions.
Yeah, Nankervis terrific. Jessie Brock too. I thought her ruck work today was just sensational. She really got beaten today in the ruck, so she knocked that ball down and into, so that they got possession out of the middle and from the throw ups around the ground. But they had some good players too, St Mary's. Janome Anderson, love her. Emily Forshaw.
She was
only her second season. She looks as though she's been playing forever. She read the play so well. Georgia Marsland was good. Parnell was good.
Krieger, I thought as well. She kicked the only goal. She was in the ruck most of the day.
Yeah. And Aniceto, she was okay. She got plenty of the ball as well. So good effort. So the team's getting together there now with their arms wrapped around each other, and we're hoping we can talk to